Yo, welcome back to episode 3 of me struggling with technology. Uh, I decided not to go in order of the battles. I'll just do them as I please, whatever order. And yeah, this is one of my favorite battles on Dignity. Easily top 5, maybe top 3. Tony Gramz versus Sin to God. I was here for this one. I watched it a couple times since, and I have like flip-flopped on who I thought won. In the room, I thought Sin won. Watching back a couple times, I thought Gramz won. Then I flipped back to Sin to God like last time I watched it, so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this was the first time I seen Sin, and yeah, he was like super fire, honestly. And well, here's the thing. Tony probably at that time had one of his best performances, and I was like, ooh, that's going to be hard to beat. And then Sin came up with something that is pretty comparable, and I don't know, it took me by surprise, and yeah, both fire. Let's get into it though. Tony does have like immaculate style though, I'm not gonna lie. Not immaculate style. I mean like his... Never mind.
He don't look intimidating at all. Plus, if he do swing, I'ma duck your weak and crack his jaw. Punch to the throat, or make folks choke like ABM last third. Thanks, let's go. Or be seeing stars like he typing in his password.
That's fire.
You think you finna win, think again.
ABM in his last third. Kinda only works at that time. I'm sure ABM has had battle sense or some shit and didn't choke in his third, but maybe he hasn't done a 3-rounder since because he choked in a third. I don't know. I don't really follow everyone's career that closely, but that was a fire setup for seeing stars like you're typing in your password. That is a fire simile. I don't want to say he should expand because he might, but if he expanded on like a phone thing a little more as the setup, that could have hit a little more. Like I phoned someone up, like I phoned the ambulance, whatever. There's ways, a bunch of ways with phones, honestly. Especially nowadays, you can make a technology bar that will go on forever if you want.
After this, I gotta go to confession and repent. And get rid of sin. Up the pole.
That's fire. Get rid of sin. I would have doubled down on like get rid of sin after I get rid of sin. Kinda like you don't always have to dumb things down. Like I'm not saying dumb shit down for the audience or the listener. But sometimes like saying things in a way that's very like, especially when you're kind of like hitting the gas pedal like Tony is right now, sometimes you just want to explain it and it sounds fire too. Like, I don't know, I would have doubled down on that part, but other than that, it's a fire bar.
Oh, Chicago slang. Oh God, instantly. I'm not alone. I got the infantry. Those soldiers can't be seen like infantry.
more juice than all these fruits simply. Alright, I mean, if you're gonna bitch about not being in Dignity's top 5, you should probably say, like, something super fire. But, you know, Simply Juice bar is not a bad bar. It's just something I've heard a lot. So, you know.
They brought me send a guy like, here's your test, prove yourself. Well, I only know one God, and God don't sin, so that shit is dumb, God. But y'all gonna think I'm polytheistic, because I got a lot of hot shit for all that rah-rah. That a son God.
Rah rah, sun god. That's fire, actually. The punchline's fire. Actually, the whole line is fire. I don't agree that, like, God is just the inherent good. But, you know, theistic debates aren't why I'm here. Anyway, yeah, that was actually a fire bar. Rah rah, sun god. Like, John approves. Theology bars.
Let's go, stupid nigga. Why would you rush in the ring with a puncher like me? Apollo Creed, this nigga dead. Al Bill Cosby's bitch. That just means getting so touched by one of my old heads. It's ironic. He get a hole in his head, but he won't have his whole head. Instant kill. They went to sleep standing up like the cone heads.
Oh, that was fire. Get touched by one of my old heads. Go to sleep standing up like one of the cone heads. Like, yeah, that was all fire. That was like a great setup to a great bar. And then, like, the way he, like, fucking acted it out a bit added a lot to it. Yeah, that is just a fire round all the way through so far.
I know y'all like, yeah, that was average. Whole time that was some magic shit. A whole lot of nothing in misdirection while I snuck in a magic trick. Let me rewind that shit. I said a head, torso, arm, legs, y'all come all that problem. But I told y'all I'm an artist at heart, so I had to draw some life into this body.
Yeah, so, Tony has his, like, I guess that's his catchphrase or whatever at this point. Like, oh, y'all think that was average. Something about a magic trick. And that's basically a version of Run It Back. Hey, that's what we're called. Like, slow it down, I just dissed you. You know, that tactic's kind of been, or that's like a very common tool in battle rap. That's very cool to use if you use it properly. Tony is clearly, like, usually very good at that as like a like, he uses that tool very, very effectively on running things back and being like, nah, you missed this though, and like being like, oh shit, yeah though, like, you did say that, and like, you know, it's kind of simple in thought, but like to write out and do is kind of tricky, and Gramz is really good at that. Hence why he made like a catchphrase around, you know, that tool. But that wasn't his strongest one. He could have landed on a slightly better, you know, punch. I don't know if it's because, like, he kind of said it weirdly half-assed for some reason. I don't know. Like, if that's just how I perceived it. Like, he kind of petered out as he was saying it, and it kind of lost effect. And the punch, to be honest, wasn't great, but like here's the thing, like there's a weird little lesson that I learned. Sometimes you just gotta yell it to sell it. Sometimes you just gotta project, and like even if like deep down you're like this isn't gonna make sense, or you fucked up and you have to freestyle into something, sometimes just yelling. I learned that like it's kind of obnoxious, don't do it like the whole round, but like if there's something that you're like, now this needs to land, yell it to sell it. You know, if you overuse that, if you yell too much, or just if you yell every line as if like this is the fucking haymaker of my round, or like the biggest fucking punch of my round, but you do that every line, it very quickly loses effect. And then when you do have something that is like a really big bar, by the time you get to that, you've already, one, probably exhausted yourself yelling, and two, like it doesn't come across the same because it's like there was no build up, there was no like difference between, okay, this is my warm up kind of bar, this is my like me gas, and this is me like punch, and this like, you know, there's certain inflections that you learn to do during certain parts, and you can like switch them up in a way that can work, but sometimes it doesn't, and whatever. Live and learn. Other than that though, I mean, I'm sure if I broke that down it would make sense what Tony said, but as a punch it didn't land the hardest, and unfortunately it was like right after his like slogan-y thing, so you know. But other than that, like it was the whole round up to that point was pretty fucking fire. I'm not gonna lie. Like very small little things that I would do different, but like the way Tony did it doesn't take away from it, and probably might lend to his like natural rhythm or cadence or whatever. So, you know.
Whatever you do, for your sake, just stay in your lane. Cause we don't play no games. The irony, cause we came in this bitch with more sticks than arcades. So try some. Any false moves, and tonight
Heard that one a lot though.
Nothing. My train of thought, evil embedded, so dangerous and clever. My machete will damage sink, diarrhea, cause it's gonna get nasty, and the doctor's gonna have a hard time keeping this shit together. Let's go. This motherfucker trying to tell me that he God's here. Well, I guess I'm gonna be the one to bring God.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not great at fecal matter doctor stuff. That's not my field of expertise at all, but is there any doctor that is obligated to hold shit together? I mean, not like I know what he's saying, like metaphorical shit, like your body hold that shit together. But like the metaphor though is like a doctor trying to hold shit together, like the natural version of that, not the metaphor, but like no doctor is holding poop together. Maybe I'm reading into the bar a little more than I should be, but I thought it lent itself to that kind of read in, but it's like then I thought about it and it was a little weird. I don't think people hold poop together, even doctors, but you know, whatever. 2 points off. That was fire though. That was fire though. That sounded fire too. Like I probably can't reproduce it on the spot, but yeah, that there was definitely a little bit of like word playing in there. I'm sure if I wrote that down, that'd be a fire. Yeah, like that was, it was kind of out of nowhere too. Like it kind of just like, hey, by the way, like I can rap really good too, and like, all right, you know, throw that, show it off, bro. Like, all for that. I'm all for rapping really well. Mucho bueno, says John. Yeah, pretty fire.
Bro, we don't even want to
Fire
know
round.
them niggas. The real nigga delegation would like to offer a trade for these hoe ass niggas. He a bitch, and war times I wouldn't want him with me because he can break and say anything like a fortune cookie. Many tools, hammer shoots, nail this shit, Bob the Builder. When this kick, it'll break his shit like Anderson Silva. Pumping the pants leg, pumping the pants leg. Look like I'm the one with the shit split. I'm a magician, think Chinese assistant. A face shot, I put this bitch in a box with his chin split. Two choices. We can get this bitch jumping like hurdles, or this can be a murder. Fuck it, he get the revolver. I keep my shells forever like turtles. Let's go. Come on, man. I told my bitch the other day, when times get
I keep my shells forever like turtles. Alright, Gramz. I'm sorry. Yeah. Alright, I mean, that's a bar. Not the greatest bar I've heard in my life, or even in this round, but you know. Shells like turtles.
rough, I can always count on my 8 to shoot. What's that? Kobe in the flex. Gauge with me.
R.I.P.
That's the battle rap on top.
A fire bar too. I'm trying to remember if this was before Kobe passed. I think it might have been. I think someone probably would have said R.I.P. in the crowd or some shit. But I probably would have said R.I.P. in the crowd. I was in the crowd. But yeah, R.I.P. Kobe. Fire bar too. Not even just because that's fire too.
I know you don't think that I'm one of them niggas, but make me hear this bitch out when I release my flip.
Big ass slug. Jabba, like he sold that one. I like that, and it was a fun bar. I fuck with Star Wars kinda, not the new ones, but you know the old ones were cool. I mean when I was younger, the idea of politics in that series of movies is a little far-fetched and ridiculous at times, but hey, you know, how else do you have, like, space fascists in a story without a little craziness? I guess we have Earth fascists. Anyway, what was that? Yeah. Super fire round by Gramz. I forgot why I paused it, but fire. A fire way to end it too. Just, you know, wrap it out. Nice little bow on top. Like, hey, by the way, I'm like just a good rapper. Just remember that. Like, that's the thing. Tony's definitely a good rapper. I think sometimes he punches in a way that's unexpected and can be jarring at first, but once you kind of get used to it and expect it a little more, like I dig Tony's way of rapping a lot. It's very intricate. Here's the thing, like you can kind of, if you go back and watch some of his earlier battles, you can probably see his learning curve, like what bars are like not as worked out as they should be, or like he was missing a certain aspect of a tool to make that bar land the way it should have in his head. But in this battle, I think maybe 2-3 bars out of all of what he did wasn't up to snuff. But other than that, like, it was a fucking fire round. Like, you couldn't really ask for a better round. It just, like, sometimes too the crowd is just like right in beat with what you're doing. I noticed, like, the crowd was just reacting at all the right places. It was, and sometimes Gramz has that problem of like not being able to get the crowd in rhythm with him. But in this battle, like except for a few times, the crowd was completely with him. I think they even reacted to like one or two of the bars that I didn't like. But that's all good, whatever. They sounded good. Big ass. Oh yeah, big ass slug job of the Hut. That was a fire ass bar. That's what I was talking about earlier. Anyway.
See, I spent a long time hyping names on. And yet you chose to wake this animal up. You see, right before you wasn't different. Nah. Cause see, don't be a menace. The only time I knew Gramz to handle a punch. See, I was out in that town. But I had to come back to the land. Something I've been scheming for weeks. See, long story short, I had to move to Killer Gramz, but we all know that's the key to the street. See, your best bet.
I think that's probably what sold me too right away, because that's just fire. Like, he didn't even finish Kilograms, but like, and we all know that's the key to the, like, dude, like, that was fire. Like, that was charismatic all the way through. It was like a good punchline, a good bar. I fucked with that. That's fuck a fire bar.
Shit. Cause y'all be acting like a team, but we just gonna treat this shit like chess. I mean, we all know it's considered the wrong move to sacrifice your king, and I understand.
That's kind of fire.
And I understand. I came up with a stand. You faggots caught. What's a slot? I mean, y'all need to kick it fucked up. Like bad karate. If I grab the shot,
Kick it fucked up like bad karate. What does he mean? Y'all kick it fucked up like y'all are inebriated when y'all kick it? Like y'all even get drunk and high when you hang out? Like bad karate? Alright. I don't know. That's not a great bar. But I can see where in the building that does. Because he did, like, act it out a bit. And, everything. Up to that point, there was definitely some fire shit. So, I think he was definitely building momentum. And we were kind of going with the momentum, too.
after the job is done, I stashed the body, but just know, me and my niggas masked up before we bust a move. Yeah. It's the Jabberwock, so...
I mean, I don't really follow that shit, but that is kind of fire how he acted it out and shit. I'm pretty sure the Jabberwockies are like that dance group or whatever that had like the masks, obviously. And, like doing like the dance and like pausing like that. And, yeah, just like the little hand movements. That kind of looked more like a Naruto fucking jutsu than a fucking dance to me. But I'm a nerd, so I don't give a fuck. But, yeah, that was just fine. Like, Sin has a cool way of, like, acting out his bars. He doesn't overdo it. He kind of does it with the punchline that makes the punchline better, but doesn't overdo it that it takes away from what he's saying. And that's a super cool quality to have.
So try to seem tough and team up. Just do a things tough. Big Gramz. That just mean this ain't shit niggas still gonna cross them arms out front like King Tut. And I know they got you thinking you hot. You see off top, I'm on fire. So fire that it's off the chain. Ghostwriter. So anybody behind the rapper, just know, this won't just hit a door. My move will fuck up the whole accordion. See, the keys to kill him on cam. Or give him the blade offline like Scorpion, okay? That's life, right?
That's fire.
Right? Well, it's a bit different. What other writers I said, see, that's basic matrix. Because I said, ghostwriter, during Mamu's school. Long story short, I'm on a fire right here. My palms in. But no, my women, air heads like blind bitches, and they tied down. Because I'm like, she in the queen. The bond difference. So whenever I'm doing a drive-by, just know I got one down for killing ops. Because soon as I start rolling up with Cosby, that bitch get the pilling shot. You know, get back.
I don't think that was a rebuttal. Like, I'm fairly positive that wasn't a rebuttal to what Tony said. But it is kind of cool. They both had a Bill Cosby line. And honestly, like, the one that came second does have a bit of a linger to it, because it's like, oh shit, that's like almost an answer in a way. But I'm pretty sure they both wrote those and had those. But yeah, look at Sin's face here. He's gonna be like, maybe I can play that off as a rebuttal. I know better, Sin. That wasn't a rebuttal. You wrote that. Still fire, though. Still super fire. And adds to the whole vibe and quality of the battle. And honestly, like, pausing it is kind of taking away from the momentum. Like, I totally suggest that you go and watch the battle without me pausing it every, 10 seconds. Because it's like fire as fuck to watch just as a whole. But yeah, I'm here to like break shit down, obviously. So, yeah, but like the momentum at this point, where not only did Tony kind of set like a fire fucking precedent, Sin stepped up to that, and he's like, alright, I will take that energy and feed off of it and add it back into the room, and he did a very good job of that. I'm not gonna lie, some of those bars were a little like, alright, yeah, I mean, technically they're punchlines, technically it's a bar, technically it works, but they weren't the greatest thing. But he's building on the energy, he's saying shit that makes general sense, and he's selling it like really well. So, he's definitely capitalizing on the energy in the room, and it's fire.
Multiplying my dividends. With precise calculations, I can subtract his life when I carry the two. But nah, I'll leave him right where he's staying. I mean, do the math. Why get a max plus B not used to these type of equations? Do you understand? You never battle a nigga. His focus, get told. Rounds in the machine. I'm talking big tokens. Watch. You see the lines I can hit?
He did a bunch of math. I'm not doing math right now. That's not why I'm here. You're not my teacher, buddy. You can't make me do math. But yeah, I'm assuming it all checks out. It wasn't blatantly wrong. Big tokens. I'm not sure, other than in cartoons, where those exist, but I mean, it all sounds really good. And again, by the end of the day, what sounds good is what kinda is good. An overly complex bar that doesn't sound good is kinda just, I don't know, like, cool, you took the time to make it make sense and make it complex and all that, but it doesn't sound appealing. So, but like everything Sin has said has sounded super good. He's selling the shit out of it, and yeah. So even with his cartoon tokens, you know, I'm on board. Props. That's not the worst use of a prop I've ever seen. I'm still just not a fan of props. Like, you know, I don't know. It wasn't horrible though, and it kind of added to the bar. But yeah.
I'll kill your bitch. It's crazy because I ain't even know the name. I left the hunchback. What the hell? You think you can smoke me? Dog, is you serious? See if I phone a bitch and let the text me to, y'all know who serious? I'm doing.
That's kind of fire, yeah. That is fire.
And I hope you brought your niggas with you. In your own vest, so see the shots. Dome chest. From the fucking text like phone sex, I spit live. And none across these fruits. Like rich wine, so even if I die, I'll return. Star 6'9". Keep calm, bitch. John Wick.
Yeah, it's fire.
So even if I die, I'll return. Star 6'9". Keep calm, bitch. John Wick. Every gun scene,
Even if I die, I'll return. Star 6'9". That is super fire. Like, yeah. That is a fire fucking... I wish he yelled that a little more. You know, yell it to sell it, like I said, but... That is definitely a super fire bar. I missed this John Wick bar, but...
Every gun scene, got a clip to it. Quick move. Military suppressed. Gun got a list to it. Stuttering problem. And the spit fluid pick the game plan. See the cold word tame me. That just means every word I stick to it. See, I be throwing up rounds.
I don't get that one, but... You know.
Like a chocolate door. The case spray. They say, it got me looking like gas. With the hustler moving over here.
Shastaffa definitely played into that really nicely too. Like he answered and like replied to him perfectly there. And Sin definitely took that opportunity and like kept looking back to Shastaffa. Like yeah, like fuck you, Gramz, I'm sidebarring with my mans over here. And like, yeah, that's just fire. Like, yeah, that whole interaction was just like, I don't think they planned that, to be honest. It looked pretty natural. But, yeah, it was fire.
I know they like, damn, Sin got a new switch up. You kill, bitch chill. Cause he got love and scatter still like Juice Bishop. Well, I'll take it further. With a different murder. Forget the burger, I'ma just take time to complete. Piece of Persia.
Take time with the blade. I'm Prince of Persia. I don't know if any of y'all played that game growing up, but that game was fucking fire. And I definitely had some trippy ass thoughts as a kid playing that. Take time might have been a better word than take. I'm not sure what it is right now, and I'm not gonna pull out my dictionary to fix it, but other than that, fire. Wiggle.
See, I know they asking. Damn, Sin, who next on the list? Bitch, everybody. John Wick put some respect on my shit. Yes. I'm working killing these niggas. I'm in that type of bag, and you cannot spell assassin without sin. Plus, I get twice the ass, so talk that shit.
I like that bar, actually. I like it. It's kind of silly, but It's funny.
Spit them bars, they don't even matter. Bitch, I'm God, y'all already know I'm gonna even out. As a matter of fact, before this battle, I thought you was trash. And I still do, nigga. And the only reason why you in the presence of God is because I already killed you, nigga, in some way.
It's fire. Some people, I'm sorry, some of the crowd noises can be funny. That would, every time I watch that fucking battle, I personally like it more. There's, to try and call it is super difficult too. And honestly, if other people want to come on and watch it again and dispute who they think wins, that'd be cool too. I don't care if we do repeats and rejudge things, but whatever. As of this watch, with like, and I know it's because I was breaking up the momentum, so it's not either's fault in any way. Tony definitely had like one or two dry spots where it was just like, okay, but keep going. But other than that, like, he had like a bunch of really fire fucking lines kind of from start to end. And yeah, like, it was just a great round. And then even with the pauses, you can kind of see that Sin capitalized on the momentum that Tony had built. And like, he definitely got away with some shit that if he wasn't saying it, so one, like, he was selling the shit out of it, and the crowd was definitely going with it, which was just adding to an aesthetically cool kind of thing. But if you break down each line, some of them were definitely hit or miss, and there's a bit of a like charismatic point to it that he kind of used, which got him through it, which is not a point against him. Like, definitely use your charisma if you got it. Some people, that's like one of their best traits, is being charismatic as fuck. Fuck, this is a hard battle to call, man. I think I have to say Tony. I think just bar for bar, line for line, from a writer's perspective at least, I think Tony kind of set the precedent that Sin had to live up to. I don't know if Tony did badly, I don't know if Sin would have done as good, if that makes sense. I think the fact that Tony went first and did really, really well, and then Sin had like pretty good, or like a solid round, in the chamber to go, and he definitely capitalized on the energy and went with it and sold the shit out of his round. I do think, like, if you put them in a vacuum, like a hypothetical vacuum, Tony's would probably have more value to it at the end of the day. And that's, yeah, my call for right now. I think Tony won that one. And, yeah. Fire fucking battle. Fire, fire, fire. Tony Gramz versus Into God. Easily one of my favorite battles on here. Yeah, I don't know how to end things, so.